You have enough assets, you have enough belongings to have an estate plan for your family, regardless of if you think you do or not. You do. Moreover, your family is going to have to administrate your estate, period, even if you don't think you have enough assets. Basically, this is entry level. We just wanted to be approachable. We want to provide you the tools. We want to provide you a comfortable environment, a welcoming environment in which to start this process.
This is the Buried in Work podcast, where we share tips and interview experts to help you simplify estate planning and end-of-life tasks.
Welcome to today's conversation with one of the creators of The Dead Book. When Tripp Tillery experienced the loss of his mother, Susan, he found himself managing not only his grief, but also the complexities of her estate. And through this experience, he created The Dead Book, which is a product designed to make estate planning and legacy organization simpler for families. And today we're going to dive into his journey, the unique features of The Dead Book, and we're going to talk a little bit about the mission to empower families to focus on what matters most. Tripp, great to have you here.
Hey, Adam, thank you for having me. Excited to chat with you this afternoon.
Yeah, no, I'm exceptionally interested in what you guys are building, who's building it, the background story. And the listeners of the podcast know that Buried in Work was founded from a very similar journey. It was after my father passed away. We realized how complicated things are. And given the nature of the space, this is something that so many Americans are going to be experiencing over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years and beyond.
Yep.
Let's talk about your story. How did you get started? How did the Dead Book come into existence?
Sure. Kind of much like your story, I lost my mother. Mine was it's actually very unexpected. Jessica and I were out of town for a vacation, and I got back. We got back late at night on a Sunday. Monday morning, jumped straight into meetings, and I got a phone call from my aunt, and then she texted me, said, "Hey, I can't get in touch with your mom." I'm like, okay. So I texted my mom, called her a couple of times, couldn't get a hold of her, went up to her house, wound up having to break into the house, and I found her in her kitchen, and she was dead. And her and I were exceptionally close. She was my role model growing up. She's always been my rock. She's, been that one person for me. So my world just crashed around me. I mean, when people say, and when you hear in movies or in conversation, when people say it literally feels like the world just collapses around you. I mean, that's what it felt like for me. It just felt like everything got ripped out from under me. And it was incredibly hard for me to lose my mother. Not only that, but as an only child with divorced parents, I was the executor of her estate. And I don't think anything can really adequately prepare someone for that journey as well, in addition to grieving. When I was grieving, and I'm sure you can share some of these similar sentiments, there was a week or so where I was having trouble getting out of bed and putting pants on.
Yeah.
You're trying to do these basic functions. You're trying to plan a funeral for this person you've just lost. You're trying to rationalize what the world looks like without this person. You're just struggling with so many emotional things, but at the same time, there's these immediate business needs that have to take place that you just don't want to approach. You just don't want to deal with it. It seems so trivial, right?
Trivial, but
Luckily,
so important as well, and
yeah,
confusing if you've never gone through it. Did you have any conversations with your mom before she passed away about the estate, about what needed to happen, what her wishes were? Or was this a situation that's similar for so many people where you're literally trying to figure it out, while everything is falling down around you?
that's a really good question. We had a few conversations prior to her passing, and a lot of those conversations were rooted in her being the executor of my grandmother's estate,
Mhm.
which was probably about 10 years prior to her passing away. So a few years after that, she called me and said, "Hey, come by the house. I want to talk to you about something." Like, okay, that's like getting the text like, "Hey, I need you to call me," right? It's very open-ended and vague. It's like a little scary. So I shot over there when time allowed, and she slaps this binder on the table and says, "This is my dead book. If anything happens to me, should I pass away, become incapacitated, this contains all the documents and information you're going to need as the executor of my estate."
Yeah.
She walked me through it, walked me through what the documents were, what I could find in there. We didn't, necessarily talk details. She just wanted me to know what it was and where it was should I need it, which on the day that I found her, after all of the emergency personnel and medical examiner did their thing, I asked my wife and co-founder Jessica, I was like, can you go into her office, go into this bottom drawer in her desk and just grab this book for me so that I have it. So we had talked briefly about it, and just without talking details, just knowing there was something there and knowing that I needed to grab it in that instant provided at least a little bit of comfort that I had at least some sort of framework to work off of, even without knowing the details of what her wishes and stuff like that were, I guess.
Is that the moment that you realized that you had to take her dead book and turn it into an actual product to help other people? Or is that something that came down the road after you were really in the thick of things?
It came down the road. Like I said, there was a period of weeks and probably even a few months where I was just, trying to pick up the pieces of who I was and what my world looked like and what had just happened. And getting through those initial steps of, okay, I need to plan a funeral and get that executed and get that done. And then it was probably 5 to 6 months after that, I think I had the realization that you're talking about. Jessica and we have an island in our kitchen, and that was kind of our headquarters for, Susan's estate administration, if you will,
Oh, no, you
um,
made it front and center in the house all the time.
all the time. So we were sitting at the island one day, and I'd had some of my mom's friends and her siblings, my aunts and uncles, asked about it because I knew she had the book, but they didn't know, you know, what specifically it contained.
Mhm.
And after her passing, they're like, "Hey, I know she had this book. Can I see it? I kind of need to, get my own affairs in order." And through having some of those conversations and doing some market research, we realized that there was a massive need in the market for a tool like the one that she put together for me.
Yeah. As you were going through it, were there any gaps or challenges that stood out to you? Because if you haven't gone through this before, unfortunately, it sounds like your mom had gone through it in a weird way.
Hmm.
So she was somewhat more informed than many people.
Hmm.
It's difficult. There's just questions that pop up that you don't even know that you should be answering.
Sure.
What popped up for you? Did you find any gaps, any challenges?
I don't want to necessarily say any gaps or challenges. She was very thorough and very organized. The gaps and challenges, I think, Adam, originated with the actual administration process, the probate process with the court, some unforeseen things in working with certain institutions, with identifying myself as the executor, and just some of the procedural things is where those gaps came in. And
Hmm.
they were really things that you can't really anticipate when you're putting a plan like that together, because those things just pop up. As I'm sure it's an exceptionally opaque process. It's difficult to navigate, even with having this framework that she provided. But she was incredibly thorough in what she put together, and there were no real gaps that I experienced in the information she had.
Okay. So it's been several months after your mom passed away. Things are starting to progress. You have the realization, I'm creating a dead book to help out other people. And I think
Mhm.
that's one of the best names of products that are in this
Thank you.
vertical around here. Dead book is just so good.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
and everybody that's interested, here's the plug. Go to thedeadbook.co. You can find it. There's multiple versions. We'll talk about it, but they're doing some really good stuff. So go to the website and check it out. Now, the name aside, what are some of those key features that make it different from other estate planning tools out there?
It's, my mother wrote it, and that was the inspiration for our product. My mother wrote it in a very approachable tone, right? It was written directly to me, but we wanted to maintain that approachable tone. It's written in a manner, I don't want to call it organization or estate planning for dummies, but it's effectively the way we're approaching it. It's
Mhm.
written in a manner of someone who's just sitting down. They're taking their first swing at this. This is their introduction to organizing their affairs. So we've written it in a very approachable tone because we understand that death is a heavy topic.
Is it narrative then, where people are just
Mhm.
learning, or is it a way for you to collect information and organize it for people that come after you?
It's a little
Both.
bit of both. It's both. There is certainly some narrative. We prepare people up front for, hey, these are the documents that you're going to need to organize in order to complete this information. This is some stuff to think about up front, and then as they work through the different sections of the book, there are prompts throughout saying, okay, this is what you can expect from either filling this section out, or there's also pages for me as an executor, there's pages for the person that receives the book. Hey, this is what your loved one put together for you. This is what you can expect during the process of using this information.
How do you envision the dead book fitting into the lives of the people who may not think that estate planning applies to them?
That's a good question. Um, Estate planning does apply to
Mhm.
them. It applies to everyone. Being a human has a 100% mortality rate. It's going to happen to all of us. And, a lot of the research that we've seen is people either procrastinate
Mhm.
because they'll just get to it later, quote unquote, right?
Yep.
Or they don't think they have enough assets for estate planning to apply to them because, I mean, historically, the industry, visiting an estate attorney is expensive. It's time consuming, and people have this feeling of like a stodgy wood paneled room that you go and there's leather bound books on the wall. And that's just kind of the mindset that people get in when they think about estate planning, right?
Yeah.
This is approachable. It applies to everyone. You have enough assets, you have enough belongings to have an estate plan for your family, regardless of if you think you do or not. You do. Moreover, your family is going to have to administrate your estate, period, even if you don't think you have enough assets. So I guess my response to that is you absolutely, even if you've been avoiding it, this is an easy way to get into organizing your affairs. It's approachable. Right now it's a physical product. In the future, very soon it will be a digital product. We have prompts, we walk you through it. Basically, this is entry level. We just want it to be approachable. We want to provide you the tools. We want to provide you a comfortable environment, a welcoming environment in which to start this process.
And that's so unbelievably important, and you're right, everybody's going to pass away. The reality is that everybody has an estate, whether they like it or not. If you die without having a will or trust or anything else in that variety of the important foundational documents in a comprehensive estate plan, the state's gonna dictate what happens, so they give you your estate plan.
Yep.
It is, though, unique for everybody because you're unique just like everybody else in their
Mhm.
situation, whether it's family, blended family, estate organization, bank accounts, assets, whatever. It's particular. How do you take what you've gone through in a personal journey and shaped it to help apply, though, for everybody? Is there a philosophy behind it of, "I want you all to consider this," or "This is where you should start"?
Mhm.
What do you approach?
We started with a general framework. Obviously, I understand that the book that was provided to me from my mother was written for my particular circumstance, and the circumstances. It's a very good point you made with estates in general is they're applicable to each individual person's situation and circumstances. I mean, you could probably pull 100 people off the street and their plan would look 100 different ways.
Yeah.
Similar in some ways, but different in, a lot of different ways. So we tried to build it with a very general framework so that people can leverage that general framework and then based off of their circumstances, they can dive in and leverage that framework as they needed as those personal circumstances change. As we've continued building the product, we've been lucky enough to, put some surveys out to our users and have conversations with the early adopters of the product to learn, hey, where did this work for you? Where would you like to see some additional detail? What would you like to see from us in the future? And we're really happy to take those learnings and inform our mission moving forward.
I think that's great. Now, for someone that's just starting with it, so you go to the website,
Mhm,
deadbook.co, you buy the Deadbook Moss or the Deadbook Ivory. It comes in different formats.
mhm.
Um, where do people start? What's the advice on how to get people to dive in and make the most out of the experience?
That's a great question. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. My personal approach is do it with your family member. Do it with a loved one. Walk through it with them, so that they also understand what the plan that you're putting together on the front end. But it also motivates you to tackle something that a lot of people procrastinate on because they think they can get to it later. So I think in doing it in that way is mutually beneficial to you and your loved ones of they're informed as you go through filling this out and you can kind of work together with an executor or a loved one that's going to be responsible on the back end but also holds you accountable to not get a couple of pages in and say okay I'm going to put this up here and I'll get to it in a few years, right?
Are there some common items that you believe people oftentimes overlook when they're preparing for the process or going through it? What's that unknown, to use the phrase?
That's a really good question as well.
I'm out of good questions then. I have a quota.
I doubt that highly, Adam. There's so many different things that people often overlook. I mean, out of the gate, first thing that comes to my head, just in general estate planning world, is everyone thinks you go on LegalZoom or, you get a will and that's it. I'm protected.
Mhm.
Everything is fine, right? That's just not the case. As we grow increasingly and feels like exponentially towards the digital age and the digitalization of pretty much every aspect of our life. My mother had 4 pages of accounts and passwords, right?
Only
And
4?
only 4, but they were all handwritten, written on the back, and so maybe 8, right? But it's things like that that seem ancillary. That it's maybe something you keep for your personal belongings or your personal self that really come in handy on the back end to your loved one and your executor to be able to navigate your digital presence, and leverage that information and kind of moving your estate process.
Now, looking forward, what's on the horizon for the Dead Book? You mentioned really briefly the digital version that's coming out. Are there
Yeah.
any specific features or expansions or other things that have you up at night or you're really excited about?
Really excited about, we're launching an MVP for our digital product here in a few weeks. We have an email sign-up list that you can also find on our site if you're would like to take a swing at that. And we're really excited to launch that and get some initial users in there and just begin getting feedback. From there, we plan to iterate, we plan to build, we plan to add additional resources and functionalities, and out beyond that, kind of the sky's the limit as far as where we can go, and where we can take it. We're really excited about this kind of being the foundational step towards the future.
Well, we're excited to see what comes. If you could give one piece of advice to families that are hesitant about planning, what's that word of advice?
Do it.
Yep, just start
Just
somewhere.
just start. Just do it. You're gonna have to do it eventually.
Great.
Everybody needs to do it.
All right, Tripp, final question for you. You've done a lot of these interviews before. A lot of people are reaching out to you about the Dead Book. What's the one question that you wish that people asked you more of?
The question that I wish people asked me more of is, where can I find good free resources that can help me along this process?
Hey, Tripp, I was wondering, where can people find good free resources to help them along in this process?
You have to hunt. Adam, you guys are a great place to start. You
Yeah.
have a lot of great resources. We have some good resources on our blog, and there's a lot of great organizations that are cropping up. There's death cafes that are popping up. There's tons of great death doulas and resources, free resources that are put out all over the place. You just got to look for them. You got to start. You got to look for them.
All right, Tripp, people want to get a hold of you. How do they find you? How do they find the website? How do they find you online?
You can find us on Instagram and TikTok. You can find us at thedeadbook.co. And on our site, if you want to reach out, there's a way for you to reach out to us at hello@thedeadbook.co. Co. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, Tripp, one of the co-founders of the Dead Book, it's clear that your experience has transformed an incredibly challenging life event, which I can relate to, into a mission to make legacy planning accessible and meaningful for families everywhere. Individuals that are listening, you, your family, your companies, go check out the website, thedeadbook.co. As you can imagine, Tripp is very difficult to get a hold of, aka send him emails, go to the website, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks so much, Tripp.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Buried in Work podcast. Remember, you can save 10% on our estate preparation package and games with code podcast10 at buriedinwork.com.